Good afternoon and welcome to Top Gun Options Market SITREP. It is rally on, folks. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz. And it looks like we had this little bit of a head fake in the middle of earnings, back down towards the 50-day moving average. But we're going to whistle right past the graveyard with a lot of geopolitical, military, economic issues out there. And it looks like we're going to get higher here. Remember, folks, this is what I call a hold your nose rally. Okay, now, I don't know too many large institutional investors or hedge funds that are really jumping on board yay here. So a hold your nose rally means you have got to be hedged. So make sure you're hedged. And if you don't know how to do that, make sure you join us at least for a 2-week trial, for a 2-week test flight. All you have to do is head to go.topgunoptions.com/advanced, and for $38, the price of a bad bottle of Pinot Grigio here on Las Olas Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale, you're going to get access to 2 of our most popular live trading sessions. We're actually going to be kicking off our primary live trade brief here in about an hour at 1 o'clock Eastern. So go check it out. $38, 2-week test flight. You can't beat it. We're going to talk about the Iranian sanctions and what the president said. He's not messing around. And he's also not messing around with North Korea. North Korea is wanking about, hey, you got to end these sanctions, and the president's taking a hard line here. So you got North Korea, you got Iran out there. Obviously, these Iranian sanctions kicking in is doing what? It's hitting oil. We're going to brief oil today. Oil rises as U.S. sanctions on Iran take effect. We're going to take a look at the XLE and some of our existing positions on energy. We also have, we got North Korea, we got Iran, and we also have our current trade war with China where nobody's talking. Whether it's Peter Navarro, Steve Mnuchin, or Larry Kudlow, none of the quote-unquote adults on our end are talking to any of their adults, which ain't good. Remember, one of the wizisms that I preach a lot here at Top Gun Options, folks, is the market only cares when it cares. It cared back here about the potential for a trade war. Now that we're in one, we're just kind of climbing Mount Everest here. Well, folks, at the top of Mount Everest, you get hypoxic and run out of air and you drop dead. So the market is going to care again about these sanctions in short order. But hey, man, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? U.S. stocks boosted by robust earnings. And guess what? The other thing that's boosting stocks artificially are buybacks. Companies are going to buy back about $1 trillion worth in shares this year, Goldman says. That artificially inflates the earnings per share and drives the share price up. As Gordon Gekko, I love it. I could care less. As an American, wish they'd buy a competitor, innovate, make more products, maybe throw a couple more grand back at their employees. That's me as an American, me as a Gordon Gekko, and as a trader, I love it. Keep buying the shares back, folks. So strong earnings, shaking off the oil trade gloom. As I said, we're going to talk about oil here in a little bit at 1 o'clock in our primary live trade brief. But we have some inflation numbers on tap this week. We get PPI and CPI on Friday. That's going to be an interesting number because that's going to give us an indication as to whether or not the Fed's going to stay on their flight schedule of raising interest rates this year. I got to be honest with you, though, folks. Who's jumping into Facebook when yesterday it turns out that Facebook is trying to work with your bank to get your data? And vice versa. Hey, Facebook to banks, give us your data, we'll give you our users. This is Facebook, folks. And oh, by the way, this guy is going to be bleeding cash. The Facebook and Zuckerberg avoiding testimony in share case could cost $20 million an hour. The legal fees, this is a shit show, folks. The only way, in my opinion, Facebook really gets back on its horse and clears its name is this guy's got to go. Remember, when he was at Harvard and he told one of his buddies via email that, hey, all these people gave me their names, their birthdays, their data, and the guy said, oh my God, man, how did you get that? He's like, they just gave it to me. Those dumb fucks. That's his language, not mine, folks. He called you a dumb fuck for giving you his information. A tiger don't change his stripe, folks. And I'm telling you, man, I'm warning again that Facebook's going to re-implode. And all these limousine liberal stocks here from Apple, Google, Twitter, they're all going to implode, folks, again, or not necessarily again, just once and for all under the weight of their own hypocrisy. The dude at Twitter really doesn't even care that he's known as censoring speech. This is just, it's ridiculous. Facebook, Apple, YouTube, removed pages and podcasts from Alex Jones. The dude's a far-right kind of fringe guy, hates speech. If you watched Mark Zuckerberg testify, you have to laugh at this. Why? Because the senator asked him, after he gave his little speech, Zuckerberg, that we're proud and we're going to be monitoring hate speech and we're hiring 10,000 people. And Senator's like, that's great. Can you define hate speech? Cricket. That's a good question, Senator. I will have my team get back to you. So you're hiring 10,000 frickin' people, and you, the skipper of this company, can't even define what hate speech is. Stay away from these things, folks. They blocked an Asian woman, a conservative Republican. I think she's in California. Her campaign page got blocked for hate speech. And you can't make this stuff up, folks. This is the same week where the New York Times hired an Asian woman who was an overtly incredible racist woman. Go take a look at this. So, folks, I'm staying away from all these. The only quote-unquote FANG, and we can get into an argument for 9 hours today about whether it's a FANG or not, is Amazon. Amazon's up almost triple digits since I told you to bail out of Apple and Facebook and Twitter back in October. I think Facebook's up, 8%? Apple was up like 20-something. Amazon's 90-ish%. So do the math, folks. I know I'm a political science major and a former Navy fighter pilot, so I'm a knuckle dragger, but the math works out. You need to be in Amazon because these things are just, they're awful companies. When you alienate 50% of America, that ain't a good business model, okay? Anyway, folks, we have an action-packed day ahead of us, so make sure you join me at 1 o'clock in our primary live trade brief. We had a great weekly options one-day trade. If you're not out of that Amazon bull put spread that we placed yesterday, you can get out of that right now for about a 75 to 80% profit on the credit that we took in yesterday, or about $1,800. $1,800 in a day. That almost pays within $200 of an annual full throttle membership with one trade in one day. We're doing some great work here at Top Gun Options, folks. So get on board. Head to go.topgunoptions.com/advanced. And for, like I said, the price of a bad bottle of Pinot Grigio here on Las Olas in Fort Lauderdale, you can get airborne with us and check out what we do here. Okay. All right. I'll see many of my members at 1 o'clock Eastern in our primary live trade brief. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless.